Right here.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back. I know it's been 2 weeks, but we're glad to be back here at the final whistle. As you can see, we got so much to talk about. We might do a little bit recruiting. It might be a little bit of news out there.
Yeah, I don't know if anything happened,
I don't
this
know if
week.
anything's happening in July or happened in June, but we might talk about it for a small second. No, but for real, we got an exciting show. I'm glad to be with the Crimson Avengers. As you can see, we got things upgraded. So let's get it started. Let me introduce the cast first. Our lead recruiting analyst, final whistle, Dan James. How are you?
Man, I fell asleep for about 2 weeks. Did I miss anything?
I think your services will be needed. You're going to have to pull out a scroll of all the big, exciting recruiting news we've got coming up. So glad to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, my brother from another mother, the one and only Lucian Graves. How are you, sir? Expert analysis.
Man, I am so freaking excited for tonight's show. We got a whole bunch to get into. We got damn near the whole crew tonight. Guys, it's going to be great. Stay tuned. And most importantly, roll daggum Tide.
Roll daggum Tide. Roll daggum Tide. And speaking of Tide, Hottie Toddy, double agent. Could he be the next James Bond? We don't know. But he was James Bond on the strip back in Tuscaloosa, guys. The one and only Daniel Petty. How are you, sir?
Pumped. Speaking of Tuscaloosa, man, I'm excited to talk a little recruiting. Hillcrest jumping in the game too. Alabama snagging a linebacker from my Patriots this week. Yeah. So, guys, I'm actually pumped to talk recruiting.
Let's pump and let's get to talking. And speaking of, if you're ever shopping at CBS sponsor, we can get a sponsorship from CBS due to their receipts because this guy lists are so long they're like a CBS receipt. The one and only Chris James. How are you, sir?
It ain't but one, baby. It ain't but one.
It ain't but one, Chris James.
It ain't but one, baby.
You got them Dollar General receipt.
God, you excited, Chris?
Here's Robo.
So excited.
recruiting. Listen, but guys, we're excited. It's July. We're about 4 weeks away from real football, so it's gonna be on and popping. So guys, before we get in our sponsor, hit that like, subscribe button, get in the comments, get in the chat. All you guys, we know Kenneth is gonna be in there, Van Elwers, a few guys. So you can troll Auburn, you can troll Hugh Freeze, but I'm not gonna make any Auburn jokes until I wait till we get the recruitment of Morgan tomorrow. So that's what I'm holding on to. But
y'all see Kiffin?
That's just Matt. Matt's just not saying anything. I'm gonna say something about Auburn. I'm gonna always talk shit about Auburn.
I know you are. Petty, before you get that, let's talk about if you're looking to have a 5-star yard, backyard, front yard, landscaping, and you want to enhance it with some beautiful stones, this is where Thor got his 5 stones in the Marvel comic series. So you have to go to Real Rock Stone and get your beautiful landscaping needs with amazing, pristine, excellent, beautiful stones at realrockstone.com. Petty, please tell us more about this amazing company.
Hard to say it any better than my man Matt just put it. Like I said, if you're building that dream home and you want that castle look, you've seen those homes with that beautiful natural stone and said, I want that, now's the time. Go to realrockstone.com. At Lamstone Company, who is located in Aniana, Alabama, one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. Tell them we sent you using the promo code, the Bama Standard. You'll get a full screen of Matt Caddell and a 10% discount on your today. Oh, full screen on me now. 10% on your discount today. Hey, man, can't beat that deal. Go to Lambstone after the show, of course, realrockstone.com. Check them out. Give them some love as they keep the lights on here at the Final Whistle.
At the final whistle.
At the final whistle.
The Final Whistle. That's right, man. Guys, Final Whistle. Hit that like and subscribe. Need those subscriptions. Go to your girlfriend's phone. Go to your auntie's phone. Go to your dad's phone. It costs them nothing. Hit that subscribe on there. Get those subscriptions up for us. Tell your wife, tell your mama, tell your friends. They got to come over to Final Whistle now.
Final Whistle.
Guys, speaking of Infinity Stones, listen, I think Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer are really cooking. They are putting 5-star stones in the actual glove. Get in there and finish Infinity Stones for this summer rain with these amazing recruits. These guys are cooking up. So we're going to start for the news that happened today, about an hour and a half ago. And then we're going to work our way back with yesterday's news and just talk about the big news over the weekend from Gainesville, Georgia. But guys, today, I think it's 9 commits in 9 straight days for the summer rain campaign led by DeBoer and Courtney Morgan. Guys, we got another receiver, 3-star Brian Williams, 6'4", 205, 6'3", 6'4". Started to come on strong late spring evaluations. But Dan, can you talk about this kid, how excited you are, and what to expect in this recruiting class as far as receivers? Can you cover that? Because I'm waiting on one name tomorrow. Very big name. I'm holding out. I cannot wait. But Dan, talk about Brian Williams.
Yes, huge pickup. This, like you said, this was a guy that Coach Shep went and evaluated in the spring. Yeah, this was all Coach Shep here. You know, he went and evaluated him in the spring. He got him on for a visit, you know, and Coach got him in front of Coach DeBoer, and they hit it off. You know, Coach DeBoer loved him, and you know, he started to come on the scene. It was, you know, Florida was really at him. You know, Florida started pushing. Coach Shep went and looked at him, got eyes on him, got him before Coach DeBoer. And once we got him on campus, it was a done deal pretty much. He's fits the mold of Coach Shep type receiver, big body, 6'4", 200 pounds, 200 plus pounds. You know, he's fluid and in motion. You know, he's not necessarily a burner, runs roughly slightly under 4.6 40, I think. But he's a guy that gets separation through his route running. Huge catch radius. He's the type of receiver, you know, that you like to have in this type of offense. You know, you can put him in the slot. You can hit him in the seam. You know, but he's a guy that's also physical, could block in space. You know, and a lot of tunnel screens will be running. You know, so he's a guy that fits the bill. You know, as far as the wide receiver position, you know, Alabama only planned on taking 2, but you know, after they got into the summer, started doing more evaluations. You know, you got to like where you sit when you go and tell a 5-star, you know, don't worry, you cancel his visit. You know, you're sitting good at a position. You know, you really like what you have, so you got to feel good. Anytime you start, you know, pressing pause on 5 stars, you know something special. So this is going to be a very special class. You know, Owen Cabell yesterday. This is a camp offer. I love camp offers because they have a high hit rate ratio, you know. So yeah, guys that come and perform, do workouts, perform the workouts that at a high level that the coaches give you, you know, they tend to work out pretty well. And we saw footage of Owen Cabell at his workout, you know, ran a sub 4.5 40. Another big receiver, 6'3", 200 plus pounds. So, and he's very fluent in his movement. You know, get in and out of his break. You know, twitch your hips. So that's another thing. You got to like what we're sitting in tomorrow. You know, all eyes will be on, you know, Benjamin Russell High School, where Sadarian Morgan will be, making his announcement tomorrow. So it could be a 3 for 3.
Who's he picking, Dan? Go ahead and call it. Tell us.
I'm going with
don't call it.
All signs point to the capstone, and I'm firm on that. I'm 95% positive that he will be picking Alabama.
All right, Dan, we're going to come back to you. Lou, before we talk about Xavier Griffin, Chris, I want to get your take. Owen Cabell, is that his name? Owen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a player comp and tell me, does it rhymes with Conky?
I think more so. I like I'm more so. What's the guy's name that used to play for Florida for Tebow? Was it
Riley Cooper?
Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard was the
Cooper.
Duke. Riley Cooper. He's a bigger body than Riley Cooper.
Riley Cooper was a big kid. Riley Cooper wasn't small at all. But just the speed and the outside, just how Riley Cooper should dominate on the outside, he kind of reminds me of a.
Dylan McCaffrey. I mean, not Dylan McCaffrey. What's it? Ed McCaffrey, the father.
Ed McCaffrey, yeah. You can see kind of some, but he's fast, man. Like
he's almost named all the tall white receivers in history.
No.
Because
you're missing the original Slotty.
That was the GOAT.
You listen to the original Slotty.
Steve Largent?
No, I'm talking about for Bama.
I'm talking about tall receivers now. That was Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, but man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
He goes and gets it, dog. Like,
yeah,
and he's physical. And the thing about it, he's a very physical blocker. He was putting guys on their butt. But another thing I like about him is he'll get a screen and one move and
he's gone. He's a player.
But one-on-one jump ball down the field, oh man, he's hard. Like, dude's tough. I give credit where it's due, man. And I told you he reminds me of kind of like a Riley Cooper, man. Just by how well Riley Cooper played on the outside. And I don't think he's a slot guy. He's more of a outside receiver.
Man, the one y'all forgetting is the one that was under Spurrier was Chris Doering. Chris, I know he.
Yeah.
Doering was tough too.
Yeah, Doering was a tough dude.
But
Doering was good.
All these guys you're talking about, I mean, he's got a little bit more. And I'll say, just because of the size, a lot of people aren't seeing it. His footwork in space,
there you go.
Nice.
is the stuff he does at his size is stuff Julian Edelman used to do when he was in college playing quarterback and whatnot. The fact that he's 6'3" and can move like that in a phone booth, that's why Coach Shep went out and got him. You got to look at the little things. His footwork in space and how quickly he's able to separate from the defenders is something. Once I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah. We need this.
To piggyback off that, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. What impressed me, I saw him run routes with Shep at camp, and his speed in and out of breaks, he looked like a savvy veteran. I'm talking about you got guys going to the NFL that don't know how to truly run routes, like a pure technician. He's got speed in and out of breaks. He can cut. Then when I cut on the tape, I said, oh my gosh, this kid, we got to steal. So going back to show you, DeBoer, Morgan, Shepard, this style, their evaluations are reminiscent of early Saban recruiting, just finding gems. You look at a Mark Ingram who was 2 and 3 star coming out of high school. Nobody hardly knew about him, but we went and snagged him. So many other guys that we can add. Marcel Darius was like a 2-star. Nobody was talking about. Ended up being the number 3 first-round pick, late years down the line. So I know Owen Cabell, he reminds me of Daniel Petty playing intramural football. Speed in and out of breaks.
Hey, boy.
But I challenge y'all to go and watch Riley Cooper's film, man. Like, Riley Cooper was 6'4", 220, man. He was a big receiver. He wasn't. That's not the type of receiver I think.
Yeah, he's not quite that big. Yeah, he's
Cabell's gonna grow to be one of those type of guys. 6'3". He's gonna be a 6'4", 200+ pounder. And,
but I think you hit on the head with the McCaffrey because I didn't think about that one. And Julian Edelman footwork, I really like those comps.
That's crazy. Now, if you have Julian Edelman footwork with McCaffrey's ability, like that is.
But the thing about it, guys,
McCaffrey.
Yeah, the thing about it, I don't believe they will be. Neither one of these guys that committed the receiver position will be the best receiver in this class.
Hell no.
I dare y'all
they're
to go.
They're gonna push him.
Go look at Max Sutton's film.
Huh?
Go look at Max Sutton's film. He is that dude, man. He is a receiver. He's a tight end that we've been looking for years. Yeah, he is that guy.
Sutton's tough.
Well,
man.
We're gonna get this Sutter first, but I want to get Petty. I'm gonna throw Petty and Dan in here. Lou in here. Talk about the big 5-star get, Xavier Griffin.
Oh, let me
Lou. I mean, I'm gonna let Lou and Petty kind of talk about it.
You know, I got to talk about it. He's a Georgia boy.
Kick us off, and then obviously, Chris, you bring it in after those two, and Dan, you just talk about it as well. So I'm gonna let Petty and Lou talk about us snagging Xavier Griffin 5-star on Sunday.
Now, Petty, let me start this off by pouring one out and insulting that we went in Georgia and got the #1 recruit again. And Saban ain't here no more. I want everybody to hear that. This is Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan freaking show. If you ain't heard about it, you're about to find out the rest of this week. But Xavier Griffin, I've been excited about this dude ever since he decommitted. You can ask Dan. When he decommitted, I texted him. I said, listen, bro, this is a Jihad Campbell literal prototype, and he might actually be a little bit faster and a little bit more aggressive at this point in his career than Jihad was than his. Now that the fact that he has other positions, other people in his class to take the focus off of him having to be the #1 edge in the country is absolutely amazing. This dude is going to get to play in Kane Womack's defense and absolutely eat. I'm telling you guys, this is like Jihad Campbell. I'm excited like I was excited like when we got Jihad Campbell. That's how I'm excited with Xavier Griffin. And I'm telling you, he ain't going to be the last one I'm going to be excited for this week. Promise you that.
Yeah, no doubt, Lou. This kid's ceiling is through the roof. Now, look, he comes in at 200, so he does need to put some weight on, but he's got the frame to do it. And that's one thing. The college strength and conditioning program, they'll put 15 pounds of muscle on him. You're looking at 6'3", 215 outside edge, you know, in a snapshot. The things I was just actually talking to Marvin Constant, who, by the way, played at linebacker at Alabama, knows a little bit. And he said he's watched film on this kid and is pumped about him. So, look, when other Alabama linebackers are pumped, he said one thing is he plays a little high, but that's so coachable. That's a high school technique thing that you can coach out in a heartbeat. But like you said, man, Lou, you nailed it. This is one to be excited about. You go into Georgia's backyard. And, look, man, we talked about this, yesterday, Lou? This morning. Georgia's still recruiting at a damn high level on defense. And to go into their backyard, still the #1 linebacker, it speaks volumes. And I know we're going to dive more into DeBoer and Courtney Morgan and the secret sauce that's finally starting to really cook here in Tuscaloosa. But, man, it's to go steal a kid at that caliber that's got the ceiling of Xavier Griffin. I think this is going to be a kid that Bama fans are going to enjoy watching the next few years. Campbell's he's got that frame, man. He's going to be a freaking tank when they put the muscle on him.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I coach high school ball in Georgia. So, you know, I'm in all the circles and I see it all. I see a lot of film. I see a lot of things. And it's two guys at linebacker in this class that many coaches and many pundits are saying that may be the best two linebackers to come out of Georgia in years, out of the state in years. And that's saying since Roquan Smith. And that's saying a lot. But the other guy, the only guy in this class that can compare to him is Tyler Atkinson. Like everybody tell you, that dude is unreal. He is like, oh my God, unbelievable. And So he and Xavier Griffin are like head and shoulders above, everybody else. And to get him, man, to pair him with Justin Hill from last year's class, and Duke Johnson and those guys, man. Oh my God, man! Like people really don't understand what's going on in Tuscaloosa, man.
And we ain't done yet.
They think it's over, man. We ain't even scratched the surface.
We ain't got started.
So the list goes on and on. So we go back to Xavier Griffin. Dan, I'm bringing it back to you. Mark Sutter, big time tight end out of Illinois, between Bama, Illinois, Ole Miss, and I think Penn State maybe.
Ohio State. Ohio State came on strong. They came on strong at the end. They really wanted him.
So can you go in depth about him, his recruitment, and what type of player he is?
Yeah, he's a guy that Bama was on. I think I told you guys. He was Bama's top target at tight end from the get go. Once they saw him and evaluated him, got him in front of the staff, they knew that he was their guy. So that's why you didn't see a big push for Mark Bowman. Because once they got eyes on Sutter, they say, "Hey, this is our guy right here." And that's what's so special about Courtney Morgan and DeBoer, their ability to evaluate and assess talent, right on the fly like that. And that's why it's important for them to get eyes on guys. Whether they go visit them in home at school or getting them on campus. Then it's just a matter of building a relationship. Once you get in front of the guy, get eyes on him, you want to see, talk to him, see what their head is, and you want to evaluate from there on. But he is, complete package at tight end. He's a physical blocker, great route runner for a tight end, great hands. And I expect him to be an early contributor, which you haven't seen a lot of at the tight end position, but he is a guy that I don't want to go understated, that he is a 5-star talent at the tight end position.
Hey, and let me tell you something funny about evaluations, because who was that man that came into Tuscaloosa on an official visit, and he was small, he was tiny, was it a corner? And we just like,
yeah.
It wasn't Jack Jones, was it? It was one of those guys.
It was a guy. It was a guy from California, the cornerback.
Was it Nate Daw's son? Griffin?
It was. I remember that. Yeah, it was quite a few. It was a defensive lineman last year. They got him. Yeah.
They got to get eyes on you, because it's been times we had guys and we were fooled until then we saw him in person. It was like, man, this guy's little. So it's very important that they get eyes on these guys. And when they saw Matt Sutter, they were like, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. A lot of times guys from like Illinois and some of those Midwestern states don't get the rankings because people are kind of shy. They don't have the film or whatever. And then, you got to trust the evaluation of the coaches on that deal. Right. Like you said, Dan, this guy could be a 5-star.
Yeah. And not just that, you have to evaluate them over time. You give them a time, like early in the spring, you want to, that's why you'll see guys fall out of the class or, up and down the board. You evaluate them over a period of time. They may put on bad weight, not doing the right things. So, you evaluate over time. You see how guys grow and everything. Alabama sets their board throughout the year. Once they set the board, then they make their push, see who, they're going to move, who they're going to move in or out or up and down the board. But evaluation is very important.
And speaking of evaluation, I don't want these Bama fans to be thinking, looking at the star ranking. You have to trust Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan. And I'm going to give you an example. Parker Brailsford was probably like not a big time center coming out of high school. Courtney Morgan and them saw something in him, and he ended up he's one of the top centers in the country. So guys, don't be so caught up in rankings. These evaluations, Dan, can't you expand on that? regarding Jordan Edmonds, I think Alabama was on him early.
Really?
When he was like a 2 and 3 star almost, before he went to all these camps. And can you expound on that?
Yes, like we said, and Luke, that's 2 of the top 3 players in the state of Georgia, to go along with Griffin. But yes, he was a guy that, they beat the trail, went to see. Mo Linguist, man, he doesn't need help. He doesn't need Courtney Morgan's help. Mo Linguist, he does it for himself. You know what I'm saying? The guy, he goes out, sees guys. He likes long, physical guys that's twitchy, can turn and run and make plays on the ball. And that's exactly what you have in the Jordan Edmonds, who I think, without a doubt, is the best cornerback in the class. You got Brandon Arrington ranked ahead of him, but Brandon Arrington is a better athlete, but a better corner. You can't find one in this class better than Jordan Edmonds.
Hey, and the thing about folks fail to realize about Mo, like the thing that people fail to realize about Mo is Mo used to coach at Valdosta State down in South Georgia. He has Georgia ties. Like people were wondering, he came from Buffalo. Like how his staff is going to recruit in Georgia or in the South or yada yada yada. But Mo has ties to South Georgia, man. And Brian and Ellis, the tight end coach, he played quarterback at Peach County, right there in the heart of Georgia. So I mean, it's dude, we have strong ties on this staff, man, with guys that have Georgia ties, and that's one thing that's gone very underrated about this staff. They think that we have just these guys from Washington, they don't know what they're doing, yada yada. I mean, like, and just the way they evaluate, like for example, they went and got Jeremy Bernard, a transfer receiver from Michigan State, like brought him out to Washington. They like, dude, like
Jalen
Pope, Jalen McMillan, like the talent. What's the Jabbar Muhammad? Corner, like the running back. Wasn't Johnson? What was his name? The one that got hurt that they probably had a chance to beat Michigan if he was healthy. The running back in the
Dylan
in the semifinals.
Was it Dylan Johnson? What was his name?
Dylan Johnson or something, whatever his name. Yeah, something like that. Like, dude, Washington had an elite roster, but you would go and look at their stars, and these were 3-star guys, low 4 stars, 3 stars, but they were playing at such a high level. It wasn't because of the stars, it was because the evaluation
and development
of those guys, man. Now you take all that and put it in the machine that's Alabama in itself. That's scary, man, just to think about. And people keep downplaying. Oh, Bama lost 4 games. They done. DeBoer can't do this. All right, they'll find out in about a month.
I know this is what Lou and I were talking about the other day. I know last year was a struggle year, Saban leaving, up and down, offensively, whatever you want to say. But your window to really get on Alabama was last year. If you didn't take advantage of that, whether it's in recruiting, on the field, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be – Bama's going to be Bama in this year, especially with the addition of Ryan Grubb back in the offense. Dan, I saw that there – before Mark Sutter, can you talk about any of the other recruits? I think J.J. Finch, who's to me, I think is one of the top D linemen. Can you talk about this kid on the defensive line? His tape is just unreal.
Man, let me tell you. Let me take it all the way back to centuries ago. I'm gonna start at the beginning of June. Centuries ago, on the 9th, we had this 4-star commitment, Sam Utu, out of California. Then we followed that up on the 17th with Jet Tamala, 4-star quarterback. Then who flipped his commitment from where was he committed to? Nebraska. Then we had we had J.J. Finch on the 22nd. A couple of weeks later, we had J.J. Finch. Like you said, uber talented guy. He was one of the top targets along the defensive line. So far, we only missed on one. Then on the very next day, on the 23rd, we had a couple of flips. Rael Kelly and Javar Burnett. You know, very underrated guys.
Yes.
Ryan Kelly is he's built and very similar, not quite as the complete package as Gerard Edwards, but very, very, very similar style player. Very physical. Rides to the ball carry with bad intentions. You gotta love it. You love his physicality, love his ability to make a play on the ball, to break on the ball. Then we go to the 26th. We had a couple of more commitments. Start with 5-star Xavier Crowell and Max Sutter later on that evening, a couple of hours later. The very next day, the 27th, we had Zay Hall. Then we took a break. Then we had another 5-star Zay Mintz. And then to close out the month, we had Owen Cabell. You know, that's 10 commitments in 30 days. You know, which is crazy. That's ridiculous. Summer rain. That's summer downpour.
Summer rain, summer downpour. Petty, I'm gonna shift to you real quick. Mention Zay Hall from your alumni of Hillcrest. This kid, I think Lou and all of us are saying, I think I showed Lou something the other day, how this guy I follow was rating all the top linebackers in the state. All he does is Alabama State prep. And he has Zay Hall as his #1 linebacker in the state of Alabama this year, over like Georgia's linebacker commit that foot from Auburn is like #4 on the list. So, Patty, just go in on your fellow Patriot from Hillcrest, Alabama.
Well, yeah, and I think this will tie into Joe Edwards' question later about the 3-star guys being better than the 4 and the 5. I think this is one of the answers. Zay Hall's prototype, man. You look at his film. This is an Alabama linebacker. Kid's already 6'2.5", 220. You don't have to add much to the frame other than, you know, just the college bulk versus the high school. But this kid is a downhill punishing tackler. Yeah, like I'm real excited about the Hillcrest product coming out. Again, like Dan mentioned, he was in a slew of 4 and 5 stars, so he kind of almost gets overlooked, but he's probably going to be one of those guys that you look back in a couple of years and be like, damn, he was one of the gems of the class because he's out there just making plays and racking up 100 tackles. Very excited about Hall, excited about his size, excited about, he's going to be a plug. He's going to fit on this defense.
I like that. Guys, I mentioning Ryan Grubb offensively. Dan, you mentioned Jeff Kamala, quarterback. Flipping to us, I know we kind of covered him, but can you just let us know what type of QB that we have in this kid who's a uber athlete, can dunk, plays basketball, just very talented, competed at the Elite 11 with some of the top quarterbacks in the final round up there. Just talk about this kid real quick on what are you expecting from him and the recruit, the quarterback, Kawhi, I believe his name, Kawhi, possibly committing two quarterbacks in this class. All right, let's talk about Tamala first.
Yeah, Tamala is a guy, you know, that's apparently, you definitely know he's not a guy that's afraid to compete. He knows what's on campus. You know, we have 5-star, you know, already crowned savior of Bama, you know, Keelan Russell. Already on campus, you know, that has a year on him. But this is a guy that understands, you know, he's willing to come in and compete. You know, he's willing to come in and sit if he has to, but he's a guy, this type of guy you want. He's a guy that's willing to come in and compete or sit and wait his turn, you know. And another thing, he's a guy that's okay, you know, it's been mentioned to him that he may not be the only quarterback. You know, and this was before he even decided to flip. So you know this is the type of guy you want on campus and you want in your locker room. Natural leader, very athletic, you know, tall, 6'4.5", 200 plus pounds. You know, a guy that can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. Big live arm, you know, which was a thing that they pointed out at the Elite 11, but more so, the biggest thing I like about him is the fact that he knows what he's going into, you know, and he's okay with it, you know, and he knows that he might not be the only quarterback taken in this class, which I expect, you know, to be the case. He'll be, you know, quarterback 1A, 1B in this class. So that's a type of attitude that you want in the locker room.
Dan, talk about the other possible quarterback 1B, Kiowa.
Peyton Cowell. Yeah, who got out of Orem, Utah, another big guy. We don't just take big receivers, big DBs.
Big everything.
A 6'4", 225 pound, quarterback, big arm. He's from Orem, Utah, by way of Honolulu, Hawaii. He was a guy that was really high on BYU, but we're in it for him. I think we lead. I think those are his words, that we lead, and I expect him to be making an announcement soon. So we'll see. But I expect him, to be quarterback 2 in this class.
I was gonna make that's what she said, joke. Patty and Patty were on the same. A
lot of length in this class.
So guys, I think we covered everything. So recruiting, we know. Dan, before we close it out, tomorrow, Cedarian Morgan announcing at noon. And G-Rod Edwards is later this week.
Yeah, you're missing one. You on the 2nd, which is tomorrow. You got Cedarian Morgan announcing. That's one you want to keep an eye on. I expect the decision to be Bama. But then on Friday, Nolan Wilson will be announcing, 4-star defensive lineman. Huge Bama target. In fact, Bama was his first offer. And so he'll be announcing. I expect that decision to be Bama. Then on Saturday and the 5th, that's when Gerard Edwards makes his college decision, which I also expect to be Bama. So, we flew into July on fire. It doesn't look like we're going to be slowing up anytime soon within the first week of June.
All right, cool.
First week of July.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, before we get to our next topic, I know we spent so much talking about Alabama recruiting. If you're an Alabama fan, just go support these kids. Support them. Let all the Alabama fans know how the Alabama brand is the #1 brand. And if you're going to brand, why not do it in Tuscaloosa or wherever you want to go and get you a Crimson title towel from wetwillsports.com to represent that Crimson madness, that Crimson, just Crimson and white. It doesn't get any better than that. Get you a title towel from wetwillsports.com. Use the promo code STANDARD. Again, that's STANDARD, and get you an amazing Crimson title towel.
And share them. Be sure to share them with your Auburn friends because they're kind of struggling right now.
Oh man. Oh, I got some jokes for Auburn.
Don't let them take them to the parlors.
Listen, before we get into offensive Titans, I'll say my jokes for later. I'll say my Auburn jokes for later.
Yeah.
Okay. You know me. So guys, offensive Titans in the offensive college football. We're talking about who do you think are your top offensive coordinators in college football? So who wants to lead this?
No, this is just teams.
Oh, teams, offensive teams. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to go
the best
with
offenses.
I'm going with Alabama, obviously. Let's go with Petty. Petty, I'll let you start us off on this one.
Can we say Bama, or do we have to go again? I mean, because I've got Bama on the list.
What do you think?
Too. I think. I mean, if we're going to be real, I think Ohio State has one of the top offenses in college football. Bama.
What about?
And I'm on the fence between Clemson and SMU.
Running back.
Clemson and SMU are my. I think I'll go Clemson.
Hey, I'm going with, of course, Bama. But you got to go with the top coordinators who are head coaches. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss. That Austin Simmons, he's gonna be, oh my God, unreal. Ole Miss is gonna have a stupid offense. Texas, Arch Manning is pretty tough. Like I get the hype. I've seen him, and he can do it all, and he has weapons to work with. Texas, Wingo, those guys. Bama takes LSU with Nussmeier. LSU's gonna be pretty dang on salty if they can figure it out defensively, man. It may be a team that that could possibly reach Atlanta. And those are my top 4.
He only gave 4 guys.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
I don't see nobody else. I don't think nobody else is gonna be in their league, man. Like Clemson maybe, but I just think those 4 gonna be different.
Breaking news, guys. Chris James did just 4. All right.
See,
I keep going.
I know you can do D2, D3,
NAIA,
swag.
So
Lou, give us your top offensive.
GHSA.
Okay, so I did this based off of statistics and competition level. So obviously I have a lot of confidence in Alabama's offense, but they're not Titans yet. Titans have been proven. Titans have performed a lot before, and they're also in divisions where there's not defensive backs. In the SEC, we have defenses. We put defensive backs in the first round. So to me, if you're going to be a top offensive Titan in this day and age in college football, you got to be in a conference where they don't play defense. And to me, if we're going to go that route, how I'm thinking, it's got to be none other than Arizona State. They got the quarterback returning. They got one of the top offensive minds in football returning. And not to mention, they have one of the top graded wide receivers returning in college football this year. And not to mention, they don't play defenses out there. So if we're looking at fireworks and actually putting up numbers-wise in defense, and they don't really have a lot to compete with out there, give me Arizona State's offense if we're not talking about Alabama. Because I think Arizona's going to put up some fireworks this season.
Scatterbo, baby. Who's going to replace
Arizona State? Arizona State.
Who's going to replace Scatterbo?
It doesn't matter. They don't need to run in that conference, Chris.
Dillingham's a good offense coordinator. I think they're going to be good.
You know, they picked up Scatterbo standing outside the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? That's just how, bad the defenses are in the Big 12.
Hey,
overrated.
Man, hey, if somebody don't
Betty,
say
their offensive coordinator is Marcus Arroyo.
Yeah, but Dillingham is like I think he kind of controls offense.
All right. So Lou, you got Arizona State. Who else?
Arizona State and Bama. If we're going outside the SEC, give me Bama. If we're going SEC, if we're going the country, give me Arizona State. Just because they don't play nobody.
What about Clemson?
Clemson? We ain't talking about defense.
No.
You don't like orange, man.
I don't like orange, so I'm not giving them any props except for their defense.
And the offense pretty nasty too with Klubnik. They're gonna be. I'm telling you,
they gotta show me.
Hey, Pete, I think Clemson might be the ACC. That's what I think coming out of the ACC.
Clemson's going undefeated and probably going to play for the national title.
Who they going to play in the ACC? There ain't been 3 good teams in the ACC since the 90s.
Exactly.
Clemson's loaded.
And Clemson's got, they got some tanks at receiver this year.
This is gonna be a year they'll be back. They'll have to prove in the playoffs, but they're gonna have a cakewalk.
Yeah, they'll have to prove it, but they'll walk into the playoffs probably unblemished.
And with a good seed,
either that or they'll get smacked. Either that or they're gonna get smacked by whatever SEC team they put them up against.
Oh.
That old Miss Lane Kiffin gonna smack Dabo. Oh, I love that. That'd be a great birthday present.
I will say I'll bet they're off when they get.
But don't they open up with Clemson? Don't Clemson LSU open up or something?
Yeah, in Death Valley.
Boy, which Death Valley?
The real one, the fake one.
Clemson, the real one.
The one that get off the bus and run down the hill. Hey, Dan, we ought to get off the bus and just run down the hill and just call the pile. Just start rolling down.
Tell you what though, under Brian Kelly, LSU has been bed shitters out of the gate.
They should have. They've been
bed shitters all season under him. They've been doing videos, jumping in freaking water and shit.
But I think LSU I think that's gonna be one for the ages, man.
It's gonna be
LSU offense this year is gonna be
Opening weekend, we get LSU, Clemson, Texas, Ohio State. That's all right.
Yeah, I think Texas gonna thump.
I mean,
I'm glad Bama playing Florida State early.
Oh, I want that quarterback. He just make it.
Oh,
Maybe about 35. It may be 40.
Hey, can we address that? Can we address that real quick?
Yeah.
The fact that you want to talk shit before the season even starts, and you went to Boston College. Now, keep in mind, you were one of the only teams, or I wouldn't say the only teams, one of the many teams that actually beat Florida State last season. So I get where you get this false sense of confidence, my guy.
He got benched,
but
he got benched.
But calling us out before the season, I mean, that's just stupid.
And look, man, I'll be real. I watch Castellanos because I gamble on football. I remember their game against Missouri. I mean, the kid, I vividly, and I watched them several other times. I mean, the kid's good. I mean, but dude, you're not like Cam Newton going in and changing a program, buddy. Let's pipe down.
Guess where he played his high school ball at, Dan?
Where?
Ware County.
Where can? Oh, that's plain.
South Georgia.
Swamp water.
Yeah, where the Okefenokee Swamp is.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Hey. Okefenokee Swamp. Fuck them all up.
Yeah, our defensive players didn't need a reason to whoop y'all ass in Tallahassee.
Exactly.
But damned if you just gave them one before they even put on pads. Like, stupid.
I just see Russo, someone just unloading on him. Just somebody because he's little, dude. He's not a big dude, and I just see somebody.
I don't even think it's going to be Russo. I think it's going to be someone disrespectful like Bray Hubbard. That dude's going to roll out the pocket one time, and he going to meet Bray Hubbard, and Bray Hubbard going to introduce him to the turf and just look at him and not help him up. Because I hate that shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And hate that shit. You knock him over, leave him on the ground.
And if they didn't address that O-line, like the O-line don't get better, they're not going to score. O-line. They were like the worst rushing team in college football last year.
And they had a Bama running back and an offensive lineman.
Listen, I want Bama to just be dominant to kick off the season. Burst Florida State. Dan, we're going to get to your offensive Titans, and not only give us your top offensives, go ahead and lead us into our next topic with our top offensive play callers. Will you, sir?
Oh, definitely offense. I got to go with Bama, man. That's going into this season. I like where we're at. I also say SMU, but Bama, SMU, and also LSU. They're going to be very formidable this year. So I'm going to stop short of Chris.
Let me ask you a question, Dan. Let me ask you a question. They got a big question when you get 5 offensive linemen drafted.
Yeah.
That could kill an offense.
Who?
Just saying.
LSU.
Oh. They'll be fine. They got a lot of transfers in.
Man, their receiving core is going to be nasty.
They nasty, boy.
Yeah.
And LSU ain't never
compared to who's.
And LSU never been cheap.
As compared to whose room?
Huh?
My question
as compared to whose wide receiver room?
Just across the country. They're
probably they got Darian Brown. I mean,
Nick Anderson transferred from Oklahoma.
They're loaded, yeah.
And they got the boy from Bama, Aaron Anderson. Like they got Hilton. Chris Hilton. Like
they got Darian Brown from
ain't none of them dudes caught for over 1,000 yards, so I'm not worried. Sorry. You gotta show me in the SEC. These little 500 wide receiver yards, that ain't shit. That ain't shit. I ain't worried about LSU.
You saw it last year. Everybody knew Ryan Williams was a 1,500-yard receiver, but we saw what happened. So
he was 17 years old. He was 17 years old.
Because if you look at that Tennessee tape in the other games, he was running wide open, and we airmailed it.
Yep.
Yeah, but a lot
was the trigger man. And Kentucky ain't had a quarterback since what's the guy's name with the Titans?
Will Levis, man.
Will Levis?
Yeah, and he was decent.
Man. Decent don't win SEC championships, my guy.
Well, listen, guys, let's get to Dan. I'll let you lead us off. Most dangerous offensive play callers in college football, and I'm gonna go to Patty number 2 after this.
Well, listen, man, I'm gonna pull a Chris on this one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you
go.
Since you let me go first, or I'll just come back to me. Come back to me.
Patty, you start part us off. I know you're gonna say first, Kiffin.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's Kiffin. He's the best of the game. He's and then Sark's, I mean, pretty much a 1A. Sark's good. Those guys came from the same tree. Might as well say the same one. And then, man, I'm gonna go out to Oregon and say Will Stein. Dude calls a pretty good offense out in Oregon. I thought Dillingham took over in 2023 and back over the play calling out in Arizona State, and that was him calling the plays this year. Because I was going to put Dillingham on, but then because my man Lou called me on it, I'm going to have to do a little more research. But I thought that was Dillingham calling the plays out at Arizona State this year. But whoever was calling the plays at Arizona State also, whichever, if it's Dillingham or who Lou was mentioning, what was it, Bo Baldwin? Or who'd you say it was, Lou? Nah. Anyway. Muted. But
Marcus Arroyo.
Yeah, Marcus. Whoever's calling it, the guy calling it out at Arizona State, I love his offense. And shit, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna pull it down. Dan pulled it over to me not to do it, but I also like the game SMU's calling right now.
I'm gonna give you one of my top offensive play callers. 2 words: Ryan Grubb.
That was coming.
Dan James, give us your take.
All right. Well, let me go with a guy that, the only reason he still has a job is he's such a great offensive play caller, and that's Lincoln Riley. Crickets.
He calls an offense. I don't know.
I'd rather have his brother. I'd rather have Garrett.
Hey, I
would
at Clemson. That's another reason.
I would.
That's another reason, Luke.
Look at his offense and look at the USC offense. That's all I'm saying, guys.
Hey,
you saying Clemson got a good offense?
Yeah, they got a better offense than USC.
Yeah, Clemson not gonna be bad. Clemson gonna be all right, man. I'm telling y'all. Hey, but it's easy, man. The two top, you got to go with Kiff and Sark, man. Those are the. I mean, come on, man. Ryan Grubb, most definitely with him being back. You gotta like Garrett Riley at Clemson, Shannon Dawson at Miami. Miami's been putting up, they just find a way to blow stuff. But Miami offense, when has Miami been like just bad on offense? Being bad.
I want to see what they are without Cam Ward.
Well, shoot, they got I think they're gonna be all right with the boy from Georgia, Carson Beck. He's not gonna.
He's gonna be okay down there.
The game's gonna slow down for him.
All we gotta do is talk about it.
Dude, it's gonna slow down for him, dude. You're playing those ACC defenses outside of Clemson as compared to having to see
that's a true fact that he is the
Alabama, Texas, Auburn, having to see those defenses like that. You're playing. You get to see Virginia.
Guys,
Maryland.
Yeah. Well,
y'all forgetting. There's one offensive coordinator that done beat almost every team we talked about tonight. Somebody said him, but I'm going to hit on that. Ryan Grubb has already defeated Oregon.
I said Grubb.
All these other schools.
I said,
yeah, you said Grubb. Somebody said Grubb.
Matt.
But y'all got to understand, he's already beat all these teams. Yeah, Chris, you said 37 people. That don't count.
I said,
but y'all gotta realize that a guy that has already beat these teams with Washington talent, he's at freaking Bama now. He's got the cream of the crop, and he's actually got dudes on defense. Washington didn't have dudes on defense. They had some good guys. I'm not gonna hit them like that, but they ain't got dudes like we got dudes. And now he got a defense. Not to mention a whole bunch of 6'4", 6'5" receivers that he didn't have before against those other teams. So Ryan Grubb right now has got to be one of the top play callers in the nation just because he's already beat everybody we talked about, other than Lane Kiffin. But Alabama doesn't have any problem beating Lane Kiffin. I mean, Lane's my guy, but Lane ain't got Bama's
No, I was
number
going to
yet.
say, Lane coaches at Ole Miss, and if Ole Miss plays Bama, just go ahead and put your money on that damn Crimson.
Well, I mean, Lane knows where his true home is. It's with me. It's cool. We're cool like that.
None of y'all said Hugh Freeze.
Who?
None of y'all do no love for Hugh?
Hugh D.
Oh, you said play callers. I thought you said massage parlors.
No, we didn't say massage parlors
I thought you
or
said
player
shot,
cards.
Yeah, he said play caller. I thought you said shot caller.
I just figured.
No, we didn't say shot callers either.
Wanna be a
He getting investigated.
Shot caller.
Well, guys,
only a caller.
let's I think we covered it great. Quick question between Sark, Kiffin, who was the better OC at Alabama? Real quick, rapid fire.
Lane.
No, I'm gonna tell y'all why.
Lane took a running back and made him a 3,800
there you go.
Hey,
Mike
dropped.
hey,
Mike dropped.
Dan and I
He
talk
took
about
a
all the
running
time.
back. He made a running back a quarterback.
But Blake played quarterback in high school. He was a pretty damn good quarterback at Gainesville. He wasn't bad.
Running back at Bama.
But he wasn't on the roster as a quarterback.
Yeah, but he played. But his position.
That's what I'm saying.
He played in high school. He was good.
Listen, what did Sark do? What did Sark do? He gave the ball to Devontae Smith. Everybody in the country knew it was going to him.
Let me tell y'all, man, what Sark did with Tua. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Lane was a genius, but Lane also kept us behind the chains. A lot of times we were second and long. We were behind the chains more with Lane than any other, trying to do something else. But as far as he was
free
great,
up space to get it.
True that. But you go and compare explosive plays. Lane wins by a landslide.
My biggest gripe with Lane
give me Sark, baby.
was the national or in the playoffs versus Ohio State. He stopped running the ball. That was my biggest gripe. Outside of that, I think you got to give it to Lane because Lane changed the trajectory of Alabama's offense.
Lane had less talent to work with. Sark had the freaking infinity ring and Najee Harris.
Lane
didn't.
Man, Lane had Amari Cooper.
Lane changed the offense.
He changed the offense.
He had Judy, Ruggs, Waddle.
Lane was the first time.
Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley. Like, bro, what do you mean? He had 5 to Blake Sims' 1. Come on now.
Lane had Jake Coker, Jalen Hurts, and Blake
Sims.
And won a title.
And won a title.
And would have won too if he would.
If he would have ran the ball,
Hey, look, but look though, we also got to say because the best offensive season may have been that RPO year under was it Loxley in 2018?
We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave it at Sark Kiffin, Chris. Don't try to go to.
We just
right here goes Chris trying to add some people in.
Let's get the audience question and answer. Yeah, Chris will start talking about Wallace Wade's offense back in the 1930s.
So about Dave Radar and his Techno Bowl playbook. If you perfect 4 plays, nobody can stop it.
Joe Edwards says, Dan, do you think Tank Jones will commit to Bama?
Let's see how it plays out. I'm not ready to make a prediction on that yet because
he's a quiet guy. Right?
Yeah, so he's not. I don't anticipate making any decision anytime soon. So I expect it to play out until the fall. So we'll see. Like I say, I tell you all the time, follow the visits. We'll see. We'll see how many times he gets back on campus for game days and things like that. But Bama's in a dogfight. You got Oregon, you got Texas A&M. So if I was betting today, I'd probably give the field against Bama. So
Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart with 2.5 sacks. Okay. Next question. Kennedy says, what could DeBoer's biggest strength and biggest weakness be? Biggest strength, I think he's got. I'm sorry, go down.
Relationships, relationships. His ability to, support staff, to put together a staff in such short time. That's show you, his strength is his relationship. You get head coaches to quit jobs and come work for you. That's definitely a strength of his relationship building.
Weakness.
Right behind Nick Saban. That's it. So that's the thing. He's going to be compared to the greatest college football coach of all time, and he's going to be scrutinized both by the one of the toughest, most spoiled, privileged fan bases there is. So,
but one thing I give in Kalen DeBoer's defense, he's all about being himself, having his own identity, and he's comfortable. I would rather have a coach that will run to want to come to Alabama behind Saban than one that is a little bit more timid. So I like Kalen because Kalen's trying to be himself. That's my 2 cents. Next one, Lou. I got one for y'all. We need a "Can You Smell" with the Crock Pirates cooking segment featuring Chris.
I like that, man.
Next one.
Throw those gizzards in there, baby.
Do you think some 3 stars end up being better than 4 and 5 stars? I think
no doubt. No doubt.
The evaluations that these guys do, there are. I got a question while we're looking for the next one. Guys, recruiting rankings so far. Number 87, San Jose State. 88, Louisiana Raging Cajuns. 90, UConn. Guess who's number 89?
Auburn. Oh, the same is in between.
Ding, 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 ding.
Is that where Auburn is?
Yeah.
They lost 2 commits today.
I'm going to send it in the group chat.
No, they playing the long game, man.
What, they're not getting anybody?
They just wait till the season. They're going to flip it. They can pull out the spatula.
Okay.
Man, this makes
not if all them houses get raided, Dan.
No, listen. See, Hugh Freeze always has a plan. So you got to go play those $30 scratch off.
Oh, man. Well, guys, that's been a great episode of The Final Whistle. Thanks for all the people in the comments. Thanks for you, the viewer, coming in on a Tuesday late and coming to join us and hear us talk about recruiting, all things, everything, Alabama football. As you can see, follow us on X and Twitter at the bottom. But guys, any final words anybody want to say before we end on those 2 words?
Yeah, y'all stay tuned this week, man. Y'all stay tuned. It's a lot of, this class is not done, man. So this is going to be a very exciting next couple of days. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I got something.
Lou?
I think that everybody needs to just go ahead and rinse their mouth out with some mouthwash and some soap and call my coach Husky Harrison won't be able to recruit because him and his buddy Courtney Morgan have straight bodied the damn South. Bodied. Putting Georgia in a locker in their own damn state. And we got 2 guys that are in Georgia. And Kalen DeBoer doing it when everyone said, well, he's not going to be able to recruit at Alabama. What are they going to do? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to around and have a damn top class. That's what we're going to damn do.
That's, man.
Now listen, I thought Hugh Freeze owned the state.
Yeah. Well, everybody just look, man.
Hugh Freeze owns massage parlors.
We said it a year ago that Courtney Morgan was the secret sauce. Well, sauce ain't made like. Look, our man Chris can tell you he deals with the crock pot all the time. You don't make sauce in an hour. It takes time to make that shit good. And look, these guys got down here and had to deal with a mess last year to clean up. And you're already seeing the fruits of why Courtney Morgan left his alma mater at Michigan to follow DeBoer all the way across the country from Washington to Alabama because he believes in it. And now you're seeing the kids believe in it. But like you said, Lou, people believe he couldn't recruit. But what did he do? He kept the Gillespies. He kept the Roaches, guys that know this turf, guys that can recruit the hell out of this turf. And the vision's being bought by the kids now, man. Courtney Morgan's the secret sauce. Kids are starting to see it. And I said this earlier. The A is going to be the A regardless of who the coach is. Saban was a dynasty, but Alabama's a dynasty outside of Saban and always will be.
And don't you forget that, you guys.
Yep. And it's showing up again. People thought that Bama was just going to go away, and you turn around and look, and all of a sudden they're just raining hellfire on the recruiting trail.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, guys. Follow us on Twitter. You know the shows are all coming up on the Bama Sander Network. But listen, like Dan said, get ready for the ride. We got some exciting news coming this week. Hope y'all have a happy 4th of July. And you know we'd like to end on those amazing 2 words that come out of Alabama fans' mouths. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Listen, we got football in about 4 weeks, guys. Let's go.
And Georgia, it don't matter how fast you travel, Kalen DeBoer still gonna put you in a locker. Roll daggum Tide.
Blitz, Bama, blitz.